Let's get it
And
going.
we're alive.
Oh, we are live. It takes a while for this show on my phone, but anyways, hi everyone. Welcome back to Tell It to the Dead's podcast. This episode is titled "Is Old Man Rick Sexy?" and we'll answer that question and more as we cover 3 episodes worth of content. I'm the last big cat, also known as Big Cat or Cat, and I'll have everyone else go ahead and introduce themselves.
I'm Candace, better known as Deep on Tell It to the Dead.
And I am Forever Michonne, also known as FM, on Tell It to the Dead.
And I believe Luna is with us too, but she's in chat, so you can't hear her beautiful voice, unfortunately. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started by talking about last season's finale, the episode, The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. What was everyone's favorite moment, starting with FM?
My favorite moment, even though I wish it didn't have to happen, was Sasha's death. I thought it was like really well done. And I really loved the Donny Hathaway moment when she just like passed away sweetly.
yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
it sucked that it happened, but yeah.
But I'm glad it happened the way it did.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Candace, what was your favorite moment?
I did like Sasha in the coffin too. As cruel as that sounds, her listening to the music, having that final moment, and my other favorite part is probably Shiva going after the man.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and Michonne and Rick and Jadis. That moment where Jadis asked if she would help and Rick backs away.
Yeah,
that was the funniest moment.
Yeah,
such a controversial moment. And what was Luna's favorite?
I think
she doesn't say. Oh, everyone coming together to kick Negan and the Savior's asses.
Yeah. Yeah, and my favorite moments were Shiva in all caps. Shiva is just eating that dude. And then Maggie's murder coat. Just the fact that she came in and had a murder coat. But mostly Shiva. Like all the rest of the episode when I was watching it, I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm done with this show. Then Shiva jumps in. I'm like, motherfucker, I love this show. Anyway, so what was everyone's least favorite moment from last season's finale, Forever Again?
That Negan exists at all. Yeah. I just didn't enjoy it. Well, I kind of liked how Sasha and Negan interacted, but I don't know. I just don't enjoy Negan as a character. So that him.
His existence.
Yes.
I feel that in my soul. Candace?
I kind of hate we didn't see Negan pee himself when Shiva came. That was my... The second lineup really wasn't my favorite part. And I didn't like Michonne. The Michonne fight was kind of frame by frame from the comic. Really like a little more surprise.
Yeah, that was also my least favorite moment. Mostly because it seemed like a lot of things in Michonne's plot were leading up to that, and then the fight itself was kind of just lackluster. The choreography was sad. Like I didn't mind that she got beat. Like I understand they got the jump on her and whatever. Just like watching the fight, like wow, this is not interesting.
Yeah.
And then that was her whole thing for the whole season was leading up to that, and it was like oh, okay, cool. Anyways, what was Luna's least favorite moment?
It was the fight between
Also-
so and the thick neck chick, as she describes her.
There was a whole the thread for that one was crazy.
Yeah.
People were pissed.
I didn't know the actress. Luna says the actress had martial arts skills, but they didn't utilize it. So I didn't
Yeah.
even know the actress did.
Yeah, I think it was
Whoever
just
choreographed that.
there were just so many things to be frustrated with over that fight. Like, people didn't like it because Michonne got beat up. People didn't like it because it was just like a mess that was hard to follow. Like, it could have been a cool fight, but it was just kind of mixed in with everything. Couldn't even tell how we got from point A to point B.
I didn't like how they used like the fight, like some like GA audience were like using it as fodder to say like she was weak.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's always annoying, right? It's like,
Yeah,
Michonne
like-
can't win. She's either so strong it's boring, or now she's weak, or oh, she's soft, oh, she's too whatever.
Yeah.
At least she like actually learns how to use her weapons instead of magically knowing how, like some other characters I know. But anyways, we can move on to the next episode. So the premiere, known as Mercy, what was everyone's favorite moment? Forever again.
My favorite moment. I really enjoyed Andy's acting, especially in the beginning with the cut-ins. Just how tired he looked in the eyes. I loved it. Well, that's weird to say. But I did enjoy seeing just him act. And what was? Oh yeah, of course, Rashone, the Rashone denim kiss.
In the sex shirt.
Yes.
Shout out to Walking for
Walking,
the
yeah.
sex shirt Michonne.
Yes.
But yeah, Andy did a great job. Brought it as usual.
Yeah, always.
And Candace, your favorite moment?
I really don't have a favorite moment. Maybe the Rashawn scene. I did like the whole opening sequence. So
Mm-hmm.
And what was Luna's favorite moment?
The frame by frame
The what?
recreation of the pilot opening. Oh, I did like Old Man Rick in that scene.
Yeah.
With Rashawn in the future with Judith. I did like that scene.
Yeah, that was a nice scene. I didn't write anything for my favorite moment because I couldn't really think of anything before the show. But now that I'm here talking about it, Shiva on the truck being a cat.
The real big cat.
A real big cat. And also actually the scene where they're checking off the lists and they were killing the saviors along all the checkpoints. I like that it felt like there was progress and we were seeing kind of a plan come together, that it like, oh yeah, they're actually putting things together. I like seeing all the communities work together. And even though I thought shooting out the windows was dumb, and maybe some future episode will explain that, I did like seeing like the three leaders working together. Although I wish Michonne was there too. So then it would be more like Rick and Michonne leading Alexandria instead of like, it's just Rick and Michonne's got her sex shirt on or something. Yeah. Anyways, what was everyone's least favorite moment from Mercy?
I hate that Gabe helped Gregory and then Gregory just left him to die. That was one of my least favorite moments.
Yeah, Gregory continues to suck.
Yeah.
Same for you forever. Do you have a different?
Well, I think we're all gonna kind of go in on this moment, but that he shot anything but Negan, and everything but Negan. Which I, like you said, I think there might be a reason. Andy was talking about it might, like, what was the quote he brought up? Like, if you leave the windows up, you keep the community intact.
Yeah, from season 5, right?
Yeah,
broken windows theory.
I don't know. I'm kind of holding on to that really tightly, that there's something a little bit behind that. because it made no sense to not shoot him.
I don't know. Are they waiting for rain to come or something?
Yeah, they're waiting for something.
Cold
front. Everybody dies of sickness.
What was Luna's least favorite moment?
She says the editing. She said I felt like it was jumped around too much, but it may come together in the next few episodes. I don't know. Getting trapped with annoying Negan.
Yeah.
I was just happy to see Gabe alive at that point that I didn't care that he was trapped with Negan.
I had so many least favorite moments for this episode. Yeah, the not shooting Negan thing. I get that he's the villain and he can't die in the premiere, but they could at least not have made his plot armor so obvious.
Yeah.
He just walked out there, and then they're gonna give the lieutenants like the choice to surrender or whatever, but like, come on, man, somebody can shoot Negan. They've been trying to shoot this dude forever. It's finally the moment to shoot him, and it was like, no, he's just gonna walk out there and
he has like a little small he has a little small bullet hole in his leg, I think.
So like one little gray, like he's such a moron. They're like, oh yeah, this is great. He's such a great, smart community leader and stuff. He's such an idiot. He just walked out there. Anybody could have shot him. Literally, it was just because of his plot armor that he's not dead.
If Sasha was there, she could have sniped him.
Yeah. I guess Andy did hint there's something coming up, so maybe, I don't know, maybe they want Negan's people to overthrow him. Also, how did he get in the trailer with Gabe? How did he get from up there? And why did he run all the way down there into the zombie? Fuck it. Let's just move to the next episode. Anyways, last episode, 802, The Damned, everyone's favorite moments forever.
I can't think of one right now. Cube can.
We can go around back to you. Okay. Candace.
Well, given the fact I just watched it about 2.5 hours ago, my favorite moment probably Morales, just to see where they're gonna go with this, because he does his he had like 2 weeks with Rick at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
How would that impact his relationship with Rick now? Will he be quick to pull the trigger, or will he take a moment and actually listen to what Rick is saying?
Yeah, it does bring up some interesting questions there. Luna, what was Luna's answer?
She doesn't say anything yet.
Okay.
But I can say my part. I could say my favorite part.
Okay.
I enjoyed Zeke's whole scene with Carol. I loved it. Make it team, make it, baby. I just loved and some of the things he said, like, and yet I still smile, and also just being about like supreme confidence, and just I just loved it. Great.
Yes. And what was Luna's favorite moment?
Rick and Gracie.
Oh, yes. Him like walking in the room with the little baby Gracie, for those who don't know who Gracie is.
No.
Yeah. Well, my favorite moment was also Ezekiel, especially after meeting Kari.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's so awesome.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
I really love the fake it till you make it. He's got the whole King Ezekiel thing going, and then it's just him and Carol, and then he drops it and he becomes Zeke. It's like, fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah, I love his duality.
Yeah. And then I loved him like smiling at Carol, and Carol's like trying not to smile, but she's great, yeah. So you have to smile.
Yeah.
Oh. She's falling for him. Falling hard.
Yep.
We don't have to make it up like she's falling for somebody else. She's falling for him. It's written in the show. Smoke signals or whatever they have to try to justify her falling for Daryl when she's not.
my God.
just throw that in there, deep. Yeah, see, I get it, Carol. I get it. I put eyes on him and I fell in love too. Everyone's least favorite moment, forever.
Least favorite moment. Can I go? Can someone next go ahead of me?
Yeah, okay. Candace.
Before I go to my least favorite moment, Luna talked about the positive moment, and the reason she said she likes the Rick discovered Gracie is because it showed Rick is still human and nothing like Negan. And that's a nice insight, Luna. My least favorite moment would probably be the lack of dialogue. And I also hate that Morgan was in a clear mood. He goes from one extreme to another. And I kind of wish I saw our life is precious.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wish he
well,
would have had that
felt-
realization himself. But
Yeah,
good
he
thing
does, yeah.
Jesus was there. Oh, and Tara saying she has Rick's ear.
yeah, and
Oh yeah. Like what's that? Like when
you've had 3 conversations total. Forever, your least favorite?
Yeah, my least favorite. I just overall didn't like how like quiet this episode was. It was just lacking in dialogue and as well as dialogue heavy toward the end, but that's one of the things I just really didn't like. But overall, I not a lot of memorable moments to me.
And Luna's least favorite moment.
She says Kyrie is awesome. It's coming. It's coming. Morales.
Morales disappearing.
Considering that the past was coming back to haunt Rick. She feels like they were going to bring back someone from season 1. It should have been Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Who's I don't remember.
He was from the Vatos. He was the leader of the Vatos. Yeah, dude. That would have been so cool.
Isn't it like canon that they're dead? Well, not.
Are they dead? Because they went back to the little place.
Yeah, in the deleted scene, they were dead. Man. But it's not canon because it's deleted, so fuck it. They're back. They're alive in my heart.
Yes. They could come back.
Well, at least it wasn't Beth.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't even in season 1, so we're in the clear. And Beth will come back. She's the re-baby. Anyways, my least favorite moment was actually the best line of dialogue on the entire show. Your name is Morales.
Yeah.
You were in Atlanta. It's
and
like
Andy played that.
Andy, oh my god, he acted the crap out of that, which I think made it worse. It is just such a like, who the fuck says that? Also, the fact that Morales could recognize him, like Morales looks exactly the same. Yeah, Rick season 1, Rick season 8, completely different. Like season 8 Rick is crazy murder guy with denim, and then season 1 Rick is like, let's just all work together and things will be great.
I guess he knows something about Rick because of Negan. Maybe he knows, and he just put it together before he actually saw Rick.
Yeah, I guess that's what it has to be. Or I was thinking, what if Morales was at the lineup and so he saw like, you know, he would have seen Glenn, Daryl, and Rick together, and so, oh, it's that Rick from Atlanta. But then Morales is a piece of shit because he saw Glenn get beat to death, and he's still like team savior. So, not sure I like that one, especially since Morales would have known Glenn longer than he knew Rick. Because I can see Morales not being like, yeah, I'm super buddy with this dude I knew for like a few days or a few weeks, but he would have known Glenn for some undetermined amount of time.
A lot longer.
A lot longer. And when he know like Glenn's a good kid, it's just anyways, anyways, so we do have 3 other topics to delve into a little more deeply, although we did kind of cover them a bit in our favorite and least favorite moments. These were picked from the forum and what people were mostly talking about this episode. So there's the Jesus and Tara kind of debate, or their little confrontation about what to do with that guy who surrendered. Whose side are you all on? And yeah, let's just go from there. Candace.
I'm on Jesus' side because if they do like Tara wants them to do, they're no better than the saviors. And I think we need a little perspective. We need to say, hey, let's not get too trigger happy. Everyone is not your enemy, especially in the ZA when everybody's doing stuff to survive. So if somebody puts their weapon down, they didn't mean no harm. Try to at least give them the benefit of the doubt. But of course, you're gonna have your hand on your gun, but you're not gonna just shoot them and never ask questions. That's how I feel about it.
And Forever, what's your take?
I'm with Jesus. I don't mean to be like not all saviors, but not all saviors. It's special circumstances. Some are just doing what they have to do to survive. And then also I don't want to get into that whole Rick versus Negan thing where they're the same, but all saviors aren't probably bad, and it will probably be all right if you don't kill them.
And what's Luna's take?
Any arguments should have been squashed. This is the second time we've had characters argue in front of the opposition. It's not a good look.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel that. I like my thought was that the whole whether they should take prisoners or whatever thing is probably something they should have discussed when they were talking about how they're going to ask everyone to surrender. Like, shouldn't y'all have figured this out ahead of time? So I'm more on Jesus's side to a certain extent. I think after the dude kind of like revealed that he was just gonna try and kill Jesus or whatever, is like, okay, this guy just needs to die. But yeah, I don't think we need to just go around and kill every single savior, because a lot of them are just the same as like people in Team Family when they were under Negan. They're just doing what they have to do to survive under Negan, or doing the same thing as the Hilltop, the same thing as the Kingdom. They're giving them food or doing whatever they're told to do so that they don't get fucking murdered.
Yeah.
But some of the saviors are just pieces of shit. So there's that. So slightly more on Jesus' side than Tara's, and also it made more sense to me when Jesus said that Maggie would listen to him than when Tara said that Rick would listen to her, because Rick has a lot of people to listen to before Tara. All of Maggie's friends are dead. Jesus really is the only person besides like Rick that she would listen to. Yeah. All her friends are dead. Tara, there's a long line of people who've known Rick longer. Yeah. Who have more influence.
I think Judith has more influence than Tara.
Yeah, Judith will just like look at someone funny and Rick's like, oh, fuck that guy.
And Jesus was looking like, no, Rick won't listen to you. Like, it's like, yeah, you know this. Like,
And it's not even like Tara and Rick don't have some kind of a bond, but because they do, it just hasn't been built nearly as much as every other relationship he has. But anyways, next topic. Also controversial, but Rick and Gracie, that little baby, what was he going to do with the baby? And also, what do you think from a writing perspective is the purpose of having Rick stumble upon Gracie? Forever.
Okay. If you look at the symbolism of the animals that were in the room, there was a lion. So basically Rick is the lion. And then Gracie was in the bed with a rabbit. So basically, it was supposed to mean like that Rick is the predator. Well, no, not like the predator in that way, but
not in
yes,
way.
Rick is the predator, and Gracie is that innocence that you don't want to kill in this apocalypse. So it's basically him thinking about whether or not to kill humanity, kill innocence. So I think that's what that was about. But I think that he's gonna take her back to what is the place?
Alexandria.
Yeah.
It's a cool assessment there. Lion and rabbit.
Yeah.
Candace, Rick and Gracie, what's he going to do with her, and why is she there from a writing standpoint?
I don't know what he's going to do with her, because maybe her parents are the ones surrendering, so he might just leave her with them if he identifies them. From a writing standpoint, last week they had him visualizing Judith as an early age, and I think he's kind of brought him back to that. Hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to protect the world from people like Negan, and this is the future, and I'm fighting for a future. Because Rick is tired of just surviving. He wants to have a future in this world, and I think that just kind of brought him back to reality. This is why I'm doing this, for a future. And is his future good for Gracie? He killed her parents along the way trying to get the future. He might bring her back to Alexandria if he can't find her parents in the crowd that's surrendered. But I don't see him doing it without looking for her parents, because babies are a lot of trouble. You got to find formula if the mother's not nursing. It's just too much. So.
Been there, done that with babies in the apocalypse. What's Luna's take?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Well, I'll just ramble on.
Oh wait. Okay, I can see it.
What'd you say?
It says Gracie was to show that not everyone with the saviors is not like what they have faced so far. There are people with families there, but I don't think he's going to abandon her. I'm not worried. I mean, not everyone with the saviors is a Negan or a Simon, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically why Gracie's there too. Also, her dad, I believe, is the guy that Rick killed just before entering that room. He had like a Gracie tattoo, I think. I think the reason Gracie was there was to kind of humanize the saviors by showing this baby, which Rick kind of relates to Judith, and so he sees the man that he just killed as like himself, someone who's doing everything for his children. And then you see that contrast with him, like his bloody reflection in the mirror, and then the innocent little baby, and he's like has to have this moment and realize what he just did was presumably orphan, because he doesn't know where the mom is, this baby. So that's him finding like a common place with one of the saviors. He doesn't know anything about that guy other than he was a father. Maybe that guy sucks and he's also a father, but maybe he was a guy just like Rick, underneath Negan's thumb, just heard someone coming around the corner, was going to do whatever it took to kill a baby, and he, choked out first, asked questions later, and unfortunately for him, he died because he was up against Rick Grimes with the ultimate plot armor. I don't think Rick's gonna just leave the kid. I think he had to take his moment, and then his moment was interrupted by Morales, who is our next topic. Morales coming back. Why? What does it mean? What's he gonna do? Candace.
I don't think he's going to be an ally at this point, but I'm really curious about his family. If he lost his family, I really don't see him being an ally, But if he has his family, he might try to do a bad deal with Rick or some way, kind of be like the White. But if he has lost his family, I don't see him being a help at all. He's probably just another foot soldier who happens to know Rick.
Trevor, what's your take on Morales?
I think that Morales is drinking the Negan Kool-Aid, and so I don't think that there's a chance for him to get on with like Alexandrians. However, I feel as though he's going to act as like a reflection to Rick from season 8 to season 1 about basically acting as saying that Negan is basically the same as Rick in some sense. Just like he said, a person doing what they have to do in order to survive. And that's going to reflect onto Rick, I believe, throughout the whole season. So, no.
You think that's what they're gonna be going with?
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
And what's Luna think about it?
She hasn't posted anything.
Nothing yet.
All right. Well,
Do you think they're gonna do a montage of where Morales has been the last 2 years? Like at the beginning of tonight's episode?
Maybe.
Because he went from Alabama to Virginia.
I think. Oh, you can go ahead.
I guess I could see that happening. At the same time, I could also see him just kind of like getting to the point of you know whatever happened, he'll just go like da 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 da, and there it is.
Yeah, I think it's more about like him seeing that contrast of season 1 Morales to season 8 Morales, and not really knowing where he's been.
Yeah, maybe they'll try to keep it like kind of a mystery, like what happened to him exactly. You're just supposed to see just how different season 8 Morales is from season 1 Morales, who was, you know, good guy, helped us out, helping his family, and now he's here in season 8. Maybe he's really different, or maybe he's that same guy and they're trying to do like what's the word I'm looking for, like just looking at it from a different perspective. You know, same guy, but now he's on the opposite team or something. Yeah, I do think they're going for that kind of reflection from Rick again. Seeing someone he was an ally with now on the opposite side of him, working for Negan, and maybe again seeing part of himself in the Saviors, or seeing how his life could have gone differently if he sees, you know, a parallel between himself and Morales. Like, oh, if, you know, if we'd run into the Saviors more like earlier, or if something else had happened, we might be with this kind of group instead of our group. Or maybe he'll see, oh, we're the same groups on opposite sides of a conflict.
Yeah.
And does Luna have her answer?
She's writing it.
Oh, we're gonna get an answer.
I also think about the fact that other groups have probably viewed Rick in the group as bad or as worse as Negan and the Saviors. I'm not exactly sure what groups, because it's mostly been one-sided, but I don't know, that's something to ponder about.
Well, and there have been times in the show when there would definitely be people that would see them as bad guys, like Woodbury, when they snuck into Woodbury.
Or claimed, but they were awful.
Yeah, the claim guys are
pretty awful, but
terrible people, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And so to some extent, it could be that Rick and company have just gotten lucky, and that every people that they've had to fuck over have been just shit awful people, or led by shit awful people. But like, yeah, like the people of Woodbury, they were good. Their leader was bad, but they didn't really know what the governor was up to. I don't know if their minds would have been changed about him if they did know, but they were just regular ass people living their regular ass life that happened to be in the way of the governor's schemes.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, who are some other people? Oh, the original Alexandrians, when Rick's like out there being crazy, waving his gun around, like
That's a good
talking about how he's gonna like take it over or whatever.
Yeah.
He was gonna kill somebody to prove a point.
Yeah, and it's like Michonne knocked him out and got him on a better path to some extent. So I don't think he ever quite tipped into too far, but he was on that path. He was thinking.
He did give him a job.
Yeah.
They did do a job as hired assassins for the Hilltop, and that kind of threw people the wrong way. So.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of discussion with that. That one I personally don't have much of an issue with because it was the Saviors who had already proven as a group that they were going to, they're going to be aggressive. They go around and they steal your shit. There's still the moral issue with them being asleep and then killing everyone when we know that some of the Saviors aren't exactly there of their free will, but they had like tons of info on like, yes, this group is bad. They go around and they take shit from people and they kill people. They had multiple witnesses on this. They had Sasha and her crew were stopped on the road, and then they had the testimony from the Hilltop, which was then proven by the fact that they had one of their guys kidnapped because they didn't provide enough food. So, but it is still like a dicey situation.
It is. Luna responded.
Yay!
Okay. She said that, as she said previously, she thinks Guillermo would have served as a better mirror or omen to Rick than Morales. And she really wished that Morales stayed an unknown status, but what's done is done, and she'll see what happens. And she doesn't think Morales is going to be around too much, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's just here because the actor kept asking me back on the show. They're like, okay, fine, we can fit you in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. That was real quick. I ran out of pre-made material, so we can just freewheel it from here. What does everyone expect from? Actually, we can do a deeper dive into 801. We can like, what do you think those the scenes with Rick with the red eyes? Like, what do you think that's all about? And what do you think the old man Rick visions are about? Forever.
I think that those scenes with him with the red eyes, I think that's him experiencing some traumatizing loss. I'm not exactly sure who or what's going on there behind those eyes, but he's experienced something terrible. And even when he says, like, my mercy will prevail over my wrath, just that's like heartbreaking, and I don't want to see what happens. Yeah.
And Candace.
I really don't have opinion on the red eyes, but I think the old man Rick is kind of like a motivation. He wants to get to that point, and maybe eventually one day he will get to that point where everybody's four communities, maybe the saviors, after they wing out all the bad people, can come together and form a new society. So I think that's what the rage, I guess the red eyes could mean his rage, his anger about something that didn't happen or something that did happen, that he really trying to control it and not make into a bigger problem. I don't know. Haven't really thought about it.
And does Luna have an answer?
She says, Red Eye Rick. My dude was definitely crying his eyes out. Last times his eyes were that red, Clint had died.
Yeah.
So she's not looking forward to finding out why his eyes are crying.
That's what I was thinking when I first saw it, I'm like, oh my god, Rick's dead. He is dying.
Yeah. He's viewing himself from the grave.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm like, he got bit or something. He's just like, it's over. He's reflecting on how fucked he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also did remind me of when he was on the RV. It's like just that level of devastation. And then we got him like mumbling lines from the Quran, which the new character that was also shown in that episode when Carl went to the gas station said that line, that my mercy prevailed over my wrath, I believe.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Someone mentioned in the bunker that he said prevailed as in past tense. So it's possible that Rick is now reflecting on something that happened in the past and has now led to whatever he's crying about. So yeah, and he. I was just thinking he's on like a really early point in this half season is kind of reflecting on his policy of kill, death, murder. Because like right away we see him meet Morales, we see him run into a baby, and that gives him time in just the second episode to reflect on who he is. So he might be going through like a phase. This is just a really early point in the season for him to go from one mode to the other. So I'm feeling like this mercy thing isn't the end of the road for Rick. And I don't know when we're going to have Red-Eyed Rick revealed. I feel it's going to be one of the finales, either the mid-season finale or the season finale.
Yeah.
I just hope his mercy doesn't leave Negan alive.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I think this all leads up to.
1 second.
Yeah. Oh, my ideal. I can buy maybe Rick needing to vote to not kill Negan, but Negan needs to die, and also it needs to not be Rick's solo decision. I really hated that in the comics. That like there's multiple communities, but Rick's the one who decides what happens to Negan. In this case, in the comics case, he decided to spare him. So either way, whatever Rick decides, I don't want it to only be his decision. I don't think that's his decision to make. Negan has hurt more people than just Rick. So I want it to be left to a vote, whichever way they spare Negan or they kill him, and they should kill him. But like I'll be kind of pissed if Rick's like, oh, I'm gonna kill Negan, like he's been saying, and then he does it, and there's like 5,000 other people who want to kill Negan too.
Yeah.
I would be happy if they did a vote and Rick keeps saying, I want him dead. He votes to kill him, and everybody else votes to not kill him, just to stay true to Rick's character, because I really don't want. Okay, let's keep him alive. Sure, he killed Glenn. Sure, he killed Abe, but he was just doing what he needed to do to survive.
And Negan can't lose.
So Negan wasn't. He was just running around being a dick.
What
was that?
An interesting point someone brought up on the boards about Rick's dream was that he looked so old because that's just how he feels about himself.
On the inside.
He feels old. And then Michonne is so youthful looking and just sparkling and
because she eats babies.
Yes, because she eats babies. She keeps her skin soft.
Before the stream started, we said that Rick would take Gracie and grind her up and use her to be youthful. So that's what we're referencing now. This is a real, actual speculation. But yeah, it's like Michonne, his lady love, is eternally youthful, and Rick on the inside is just old. He's about to croak.
Yes, 152. With his room.
Maybe she makes him feel young in the bedroom. When she's not in the bedroom, he feels old. When she's in the bedroom, he feels like he's 25 again or something.
Oh,
I think it's his pills that make him feel young again. But anyways, yeah, and I think that the old man Rick dream, it reminds me of the season 7 premiere dream, and I think it's like the world that Rick wants. So I guess we'll have to see, based on how the season plays out, like how much of what Rick wants is even possible, because his other dream involved 3 people who are now dead being alive, so made that kind of impossible. Thanks, Scott Gimple.
Yeah.
Well, we're not sorry for Spencer, so.
Oh, right. Okay, 4. I forgot him because I just don't care about him. He died, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad he's gone. I'm gonna forget about him forever.
Luna did come in and she just said Negan can go to hell and take Jadis and the trash people with him.
Yep.
When we see Jadis again?
What?
Do we know when we see Jadis again? Because I don't know anything.
Try to keep it spoiler free for the podcast, but we do see her again. I can tell you that. Oh yeah, and in that dream, they were talking about owls.
Yeah.
And owls are a much beloved animal on this show. Our forum loves owls.
Yeah.
So what did you all think about the owls and how Judith was like, there's an owl?
I was indifferent toward it. I thought it was a low-key Jesse shout out. A little bit. Or maybe owls are just very popular in Alexandria, Virginia.
Maybe. Candace.
Maybe Judith is remembering Jesse a little bit.
She was a babysitter for a bit.
Yeah, for 2 whole weeks.
She just remembers all her babysitters, and it comes out every once in a while. It's like she remembers little things about Tyrese. She'll be like wielding a hammer when she's older. She likes baking cookies. She's gonna clean her gun like her big brother Carl instead of playing with Legos.
You know, her babysitting list is pretty much a kill list because everybody babysits.
We gotta watch out for Tara then. She was like the last person to babysit Judith.
Well, Tara has Rick's ear, so she's not gonna die.
Well, Glenn had Rick's ear too, and now, he's dead. Abe talked to Rick a few times and he's dead too. Maybe the answer is everyone on this show dies.
Don't talk to Rick.
And don't talk to Rick, and don't babysit Judith. And don't talk to Daryl.
Definitely don't talk to Daryl.
If
you follow one rule.
Oh, and does Luna have a take on the owls?
No.
Well,
okay. Well, I do.
No, so wait. Judith plans on chopping the owls off. arm off to celebrate her death.
Okay. My thought on the owls is that they're not really about Jesse specifically. I do think the owls are an ongoing motif. Mm-hmm. And they meant something for Jesse, but they're not about Jesse, because in the episode Claimed, Michonne and Carl went into a house and there was some owl decor in there, and Michonne opened a door connected to that wall with the owls. She saw like the dead kids in there. Mm-hmm. And I think there were some dead parents. There's a lot of deadness in there. And then Jessie had her owls. Her kids also died. Fun times. And now we got Judith being afraid of the owls. But I believe it was Rick said that he would protect her from the owls. So I think the owls symbolize death in some way. And what it could mean is like the absolute annihilation of a family, because everything that has been associated with owls since Gimple took over, those families just were destroyed. That room full of like the kids and the parents, they're gone. The Anderson family, gone.
And that's
So
Rick's biggest fear, is that his family will be gone. So I can see why he'll put that in his dream or whatever that old man Rick thing was.
Yeah, so I think the owl might symbolize either the general idea of death or maybe the absolute annihilation of a family. And Rick's saying that he's going to protect Judith from that. And he also promised, or not promised, but he said to Michonne last season when they were kind of at odds, when he revealed that he wasn't Judith's biological father, that he intended to stay alive so he could teach Judith how to stay alive. And I do think that is going to be something of a prophecy. I don't think Rick's going to die until Judith is old enough to be somewhat independent. Yeah, and I think his dream kind of backs it up. Like, he's going to protect Judith until, she's grown up enough to maybe be like a little Clementine or something. Let's see. Some other things from the episodes. We're kind of winding down. So how about, what does everyone think is going to happen this season? Like, what are some things you're looking forward to? Where do you think the story arc is going to go?
Before we get that, we do have a comment on YouTube from Carrie. And she said, and this is about the last episode, she said, I like to watch Rick stabbing that saver because I couldn't imagine him thrusting something else.
We keep it classy here at Tell It to the Dead.
Yeah. This season, I hope that there's a victory. I don't want to see Negan try to get the upper hand on Rick and his group. At least for the first half, I can see he might do it maybe around episode 9 or 10, and then the rest of the episode is Rick and them winning, because they lose so much that I feel like they need a whole season of winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do want to see more Michonne. I don't like these episodes without her. I think they should at least show a little bit of what's happening at Alexandria. Like, it would be a perfect time for Negan or somebody to try to go and attack Alexandria, because he knows Rick and everybody is out doing something else. Just strategically, it doesn't make sense for them to like just completely drop what's happening at Alexandria and Hilltop. He doesn't know what the kingdom is, so that makes sense that they won't show that. But Hilltop, Alexandria, kind of show what they're doing. It doesn't have to be a bottle episode, but a scene here and there just to update the audience would be appreciated.
Forever, what are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to, I want to see where this plan goes with like how they're going to take down Sanctuary, because it seems like it has a couple of turning like gears. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I want to hear some sort of scene about Michonne being a mom. That's like my number one thing. I need that before this show ends. I want to know that I want people to know that Michonne was a mother, and that, I don't know, her child's death is still impacting her, and as Deanna put it, is useful to her.
Yeah, just to bring it up again, since we haven't heard it since like the 4th season.
Yeah, I just need that. That's like one of my 3 Walking Dead wishes.
Yeah, I wanted her and Carol to have a moment with Maggie
Oh, that would be
about it.
Yes.
Oh, that was perfect.
I wanted so many things. I mean, technically we can still have
Wanted
that,
so many
but
things.
look, okay, look, Rashon and Gleggy like double dates, and like Rashon being the older parents, teaching Glenn and Maggie how to be parents, and now like technically they can still do that with just Maggie, but all my dreams are
All the
ruined.
dreams are gone.
They how it would have been like, and to have a scene with Rick and Glenn that kind of is like a reflection of the conversation they had in season
That's why
2.
Glenn should have been on that road trip.
Yes. Like when Rick told
Oh
Glenn
my god.
about Maggie loving him, and then all this world
Yeah.
is so terrible. Let's have something positive, to have like Glenn kind of say that back in some capacity to Rick, and then kind of have like a conversation between Rick and Glenn going back to like fatherhood, and how that changes you, because Glenn has had a lot of struggles which are similar to the early seasons Rick, where he's trying to do the right thing, but the world sucks and doesn't always let you do the right thing, and how like Glenn's philosophy of that, how that is affected by him becoming a father. Like it's different when you're you and your significant other, when you're just you and trying to live out these ideals, but then when you have like a child that's some other dimension, and then having kind of Rick have that kind of guidance for Glenn, because he's been that idealistic guy that had to do what it takes to keep his family alive. So
and it's one of the
awesome.
it's one of the reasons Glenn actually killed somebody and not tomorrow yet. He's trying to make a better world for his child. So yeah, I really wish that last season had more Rick and Glenn moments, and I kind of wish they had a Michonne and Maggie moment where I sat this in a bunker where they just talk about morning sickness or food pregnancy cravings, just something to say, hey, Michonne was a mother one time.
Just yeah, and that's something that's so natural and normal for people who are in a family to talk about. So it's just like it accomplishes so many things. It's like natural dialogue, it's bonding between characters, it's reminding the audience that Michonne was a mother, it's kind of bonding those two with the little baby. There's just so many elements that can be covered in one conversation.
And it only has to last a minute. It doesn't even have to take that long.
Just a tiny little thing. And like it was a great moment when Michonne was looking at I forget what pictures of
Sonogram.
baby sonogram. That was a nice little moment, but at the same time it was just like a quick second thing, and there's no like words or anything. You can kind of do a long meta on what that means for Michonne, but there's no discussion there, so it's just like it's not a lot to go off of.
And people would actually, like, if you weren't like paying attention to later seasons, you would probably forget like what that even means for her, because they haven't even mentioned it since
season 4. Yeah. And what's Luna looking forward to this season?
Luna says she wants as much Carshone and Grimes family moments as possible. Good character development for all, and Negan and Jadis dying. She doesn't ask for much. LOL.
Yeah. I want so many things. I want Shiva not to die. That's my number 1.
Yeah.
Actually, I lied. Okay, that's like my 1.5. My number 1 is Negan to die. So Negan dies, Shiva doesn't die. That's what the last big cat wants.
Shiva kills Negan.
Yes.
Oh.
Or if Shiva does quote unquote die, she actually just ascends to a higher plane.
She goes to space with Glenn.
Yeah, we have a space tiger. She's up there with Glenn and Sasha. It's great. When Star Trek has like a little space tiger, I'll be super happy. But my big thing is I want to see the communities working together, working on like plans to overcome Negan and the Saviors. I'm not super wild about Sanctuary episodes, but I don't mind so much seeing the saviors hate the crap out of Negan. That brings joy to me. And so I would like to see more of the saviors that are against Negan, kind of rebelling and joining forces with everyone else. And I would like to see at the end of the season all the communities coming together and deciding what to do with Negan. I will take Negan just dying randomly. I will take absolutely any possible Negan death. Daryl can kill him. I don't care. I will take any Negan death. But my ideal Negan death would be all of the communities coming together, deciding what to do with him, forming like a system of laws, like law and order, and deciding to execute Negan. So it's not just like cowboy. They can start, they can make this new world that has, rules or whatever. And then they say, you know what, this guy is so fucked up and we don't want to waste the resources keeping him in the cell. Let's just execute him. And then they can come up with, maybe they can draw straws to decide who gets to actually have the honor. But that is my ideal because I like things that do lots of things and I like Negan being dead, and that the Negan on trial accomplishes a lot of different elements. Also a big Roshone wedding because it also accomplishes lots of things. Yes, you can bring all the communities together for this huge social event. So they're like bonding together. It shows Rick and Michonne uniting and people like hanging out, having a big party. I like weddings. See, that's like 3 things right there.
We get to see Michonne dressed up. Maybe Rick changes.
And not in a dream.
Yeah, like real life. Father Gabriel is, he's whatever the word is for the guy who does the thing. Officiates. People can make like big old speeches because The Walking Dead loves speeches.
Daryl will mumble his speech because he's the best man.
I don't want the wedding anymore. I take it back.
Glenn's pocket watch has to be the best man.
Yeah, Maggie will go up there. She'll hold up the pocket watch and be like, "Glenn made the decision."
I was just following his lead.
She'll be the best man and the maid of honor. She'll just do both.
Do both. Oh my gosh.
Right. I think that is it for the podcast. That was about an hour. Yeah, that's pretty good for coming back after several months and doing 3 episodes.
Yeah. Covered good ground.
Did we get any questions from the audience?
No.
Or just this Rick stabbing with something else comment.
Yeah, that was the only good comment.
Oh, so there were bad comments?
No. It was just commenting like Andy was being a cupcake, and
at the panel.
Yeah, and then I was saying Tara greater than Michonne.
Wait, what? Who's better than Michonne?
Tara. She's laughing because Tara says she has Rick's ear, remember?
Oh. I was about like, who wants to fight?
Ready? Square up.
Oh, we forgot to answer the question. Is old man Rick sexy?
Oh shit, that's right. We can't end the podcast until we answer the episode title. The answer is no. Anyways,
I think so.
Luna says old man Rick was cute, not sexy, but cute.
What does Candace say?
I think Michonne makes old man Rick sexy.
Oh,
I think Michonne looking so young makes old man Rick look like a creep. He's like walking out here in his little robe and his cane looking like a sugar daddy, and she's like young, spry college chick. But yeah, so on that note, we're very divided on this old man Rick sexy question, but we'll leave you with that. So until next time, hopefully not months from now, have a good one and tell it to the dead.
Ooh.
Bye.
Slick.
That was